Hey, it's Wednesday, middle of the week. Welcome to the 3-Minute Bridge, where we are daily trying to make that connection, trying to bridge the gap between God's Word and our everyday life. We are in James chapter 1, verse 2, and we read this morning. Consider it all joy, my brethren, when you encounter various trials. So, did anyone else laugh when you read that for the first time? I mean, count it joy when hard times come. Normally when, we think of joy when we see dessert coming or when a baby's born, but not generally when we think of sickness coming or financial challenges or when things go wrong. Generally those things are not things we associate with joy, but that's exactly what he says here, to count it joy. Consider it joy when you encounter various trials. Now, tomorrow maybe we'll talk more specifically about what's being taught here, but for today, just really like for us to note this one thing, just the strangeness of the way God thinks. And by strangeness, certainly God's thoughts are always right. But when we encounter a stranger, that's someone that we're not familiar with. So when I'm talking about the strangeness of God's thoughts, really I'm thinking about the ways that God thinks that are not really familiar with our natural way of seeing things. And so as you read the Bible throughout, you'll just note that God thinks differently than we naturally think. His thoughts are strange to us. And that's the bridge that I want us to cross today. When we encounter biblical truths that shows God, where we see God thinking about things and seeing things differently than we think about them and see them, what do we do? And so here's the thing that we're going to do, right? We're going to just consider and know that God is wiser than us, and so we're going to want to submit to His way of thinking rather than our own way. And that's what that's certainly what James expects. I mean, he doesn't say, hey, here's something you might want to think about, but he gives an instruction. He gives a command. Consider it all joy when you encounter various trials. And so that's what we're directed to do here. Consider it all joy when you encounter various trials. Now, don't get hung up on that direction about how in the world can I do that today. For today, I just want us to think about that God thinks differently than us, and what do we do when we encounter that? We submit to that. And so think about some of the specific ways that God's thoughts may be strange to you. When people have wronged you and really done you wrong and God says, forgive. Or does this seem like a strange thought to you that God thinks it right that some people go to hell? Or maybe this seems like a strange thought to you that people can do such horrible wrongs and they can be forgiven and still go to heaven. Or does it seem strange that God says in His economy that those who are greatest among you are to serve others? Or maybe one of the strangest thoughts is just this that we're reading in James, that we should count it all joy when we encounter various trials. Whatever the case, we want to walk through our lives with this attitude, right? That although what we see with our own eyes, we may think this is the right way, but that we know that one day our ways will be revealed to be the ones that are strange and that are wrong, and God's ways will always be revealed, ultimately be revealed to be right. And so as you walk through the day to day, as you seek to do that, to submit to His way of thinking, you will be crossing the bridge from God's Word into your everyday life. Okay. See you tomorrow for the 3-Minute Bridge. Take care.